Oh, how we doing today, folks? I'm out in a nice oak woodland, and today I've decided to face my demons in the genus Viola a little bit. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be running across various violets and figuring out what species they are. I've already taken care of this one that we got right here. You might get this guy in your yard. It's pretty common. This is Viola sororia, I believe. Or, hang on, actually. I gotta check something. Alright, yeah, I thought so. Anyway, I was wrong about this already. This is not Viola sororia, this is Viola papinacea. You can distinguish the two on account of the papinacea's got the smooth flower stalk, whereas sororia does not. But there we go, so there we are. We're at one violet species. All these guys, all the violets, of course, are going to be in the same family as they're part of the same genus. You know, memorize that taxonomic hierarchy. It's pretty handy, you know. It just goes kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. And boom, just like that, you're done, you know. And you might throw some modifiers on those words like subfamily or subgenus. And, you know, you can just infer what that means. For example, a subgenus is going to be smaller than a genus, but it's not going to be as small as a specific species. All right, so there you go. Okay, anyway, let's keep our eyes peeled for some more Viola action. Got a lot of this happening, though. Not a member of the Violaceae, of course. This is in the Asteraceae. Got a member of the Meandered genus here. Not 100%. This might be Meandered stellata. I don't know. I got to see these flowers open up, but definitely a species of Meandered through here. Let's. Oh, what other Viola members do we got? Oh, we got this one right here. What do we got? All right, this is another one that's fairly easy to ID by the yellow color of the flowers, as well as this pretty pubescent action that you get all throughout this plant. This is Viola pubescens. You know, it's pretty nice. Very cute. You know, the violets are a very cute group of plants. It's just, you know, sometimes you might get a little bit annoyed because it's just like, they're so small and you don't want to pay attention to them. But, you know, they're obviously doing something right if they're this ecologically successful and they've got all these various species, you know. So, even if it is annoying, it's something worth taking note of, I would make the argument. What we got in here? All right, that's more Papinacea. Sorry about that. Thought it looked a little bit different, perhaps. The violet counter, we're at 2. Oh, nice. I do hope you guys are a fan of the violas. We'll probably there's definitely going to be some other stuff because I can't focus on violets. It's appearing like it's mainly only those 2 species through here. So yeah, I don't know. How are y'all doing today, folks? Is everyone good? Everyone staying healthy and practicing social distancing? Yeah. No one's being a jackass about it. Oh, what do we got right here? Oh, that's nice. Here we go. This is pretty cool. This is a little species of Trillium right here. What we got appears to be, this looks like Trillium sessile. So it looks a lot like Trillium recurvatum, you know, because they both got the sessile flower, you know, the flower without the pedicel. But on Trillium sessile, which you'll see a lot of the times, oh, actually, hang on. You know what, never mind. This is Trillium recurvatum. Again, sorry about that. Didn't notice this sepal being reflexed all the way over here, and I wasn't paying close enough attention to the very small petioles on this leaf. You see, there's 2 species of sessile flowering Trillium sessile and Trillium recurvatum that look very, very similar to one another. The way you can distinguish them, though, is the sepals on Trillium sessile, when it's in bloom, they'll be on the same plane, you know, as the flower, whereas in Trillium recurvatum, they'll be below the plane, they'll be recurved back, okay? And additionally, in Trillium recurvatum, the leaves have they've got a small petiole, but on Trillium sessile, the leaves are entirely sessile, and the flowers on both species are sessile. So there you go, there's some Trillium distinguishing for you. It's not looking too diverse through here because it's a little bit close to the road, so it's a little bit, you know, got some rudderal species. But, I don't know, gonna pause it and maybe go find something somewhere else, alright? So, yeah. Alright, so what I'm also gonna do while I'm out here is I'm gonna give you guys a little nice lesson on the P morphology. That is the the flowers of the Fabaceae. This lesson's only going to apply to members of the Faboideae subfamily, such as this magnificent plant right here, Lupinus perennis. The Fabaceae's got, I believe, like, I don't know, I think it's like 6 subfamilies or something like that. It's a very, very diverse family, so, you know, you got to break that up somehow with some subfamily divisions. But this is going to apply to the Faboideae subfamily, which, you know, you might be familiar with if you've ever grown, like, you know, beans or peas or anything like that in your garden, perhaps. This one right here, Lupinus perennis, is a member. So, what with that out of the way, let's get a nice zoom in on one of these flowers and get to discussing. So, what we got right here, these 2 at the top that I'm poking with the stick right now, these are known as the banner petals, okay? So, up top, you got the banner. Then you got these 2 fused petals right here, below the banner. Those are your wings. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bust open the wings and reveal the final part of the anatomy, which is, of course, the keel petal. So anyway, I'm going to have to perform some surgery type stuff here. As you can see, that kind of... hang on. There we go. All right, do you see that? Oh, crap. Hang on. This is tough. All right, so you can see there, you can actually see some of the anthers poking out. See that darker petal right there, jutting out of the wings with the anthers popping out of it. That is the keel petal. And as I mentioned, the keel petal, it surrounds the reproductive structure for the plant. So as you can see, pop this one open real nice. Oh, God. This is tough, folks. It's like surgery. But there you go, poking out there. That's the keel petal, and within that are your reproductive structures, your anthers and your pistil and your your pistil and your staminate whorls, you know, surrounded in there. So that's your that's a nice lesson on the P morphology. It's a very cool style of inflorescence, very, very neat and identifiable, you know. And the I actually misspoke at the beginning of the video. I said I was in an oak woodland. That was incorrect. I'm in an oak savanna through here. So as you can see, there's quite a prolific amount of the Lupinus perennis. You know, soil quality is a bit poor out here, so I would hypothesize that maybe the Lupinus is so successful because as a member of the Fabaceae, you know, it's got that symbiotic relationship with the rhizobia bacteria and its roots. You know, the rhizobia bacteria and the roots, what they're capable of doing is taking atmospheric nitrogen and they fix it, and then the pea is able to, or the lupin in this case, is able to then take up those nutrients. And so it's a nice symbiotic relationship, which is pretty neat, all things considered. I'm going to stop yelling because there's folks around, so yeah, there you go. Well, folks, I do have got a bit of news for you about the Miller Woods video. I was incorrect in one of my identifications of the Antennaria. I said one of the Antennaria species in that video was a Howellii. I believe I was incorrect about that, because this is that same Antennaria that I incorrectly called Howellii. What we're dealing with here is actually Antennaria plantaginifolia, a gorgeous member of the Asteraceae. Call it the pussy toes, you know. But if you look down at these leaves, and you got to check out these basal leaves, and what you got to do to key out the Antennarias, you know, you measure the basal leaves and you check out the venation on the bottom of them, you know, and that's how you tell them apart. But anyway, this nice, lovely canescent flower that we got right here, member of the Asteraceae, as I've said, you know, you got to note those nice composite heads and get a nice zoom in on those. Get nice and in there, like you're a pollinator with your compound eyes and such. Ooh, isn't that lovely? You know, man, the Asteraceae, gorgeous. So Antennaria plantaginifolia, I called it Howellii in the Miller Woods video. Sorry about that. Nice. That's the value of keying stuff out. You know, you learn your mistakes and you learn why you made the mistakes. Because when you key stuff out, you know, you see the differences between the species, which is oftentimes very helpful. So yeah, let's see what else we got. Got in the nice oak savanna. Oh, hang on. There's one. There's another species of Viola occurring throughout here. It's pretty numerous. It's another one which is fairly easy to identify. It's Viola pedata, the bird's foot violet, and I've seen it. Oh man, I was seeing it. Oh God, where did it go? It was all over out here, I promise. I don't know what's happening. I must be losing my mind. Huh. That's unusual. Well, I don't know. Anyway, I guess I'll have to try and find that one again so I can, you know, keep throwing myself down the pit of the Viola genus. Got a nice little member of the rose family right here, by the way. This is Fragaria virginica. I don't believe the strawberries this thing produces are edible, but don't eat them anyway, you know. You don't need to. Just leave them for the animals or something. And it's got, you know, very serrate margins, as you can see, very pubescent. Those are characteristics of the rose family that you get a lot, you know. So pay attention to stuff like that. As I said before, you know, a lot of those common features, sometimes they run in common ancestry, which can be helpful for, you know, identifying plants when you're out in the field. Ah, nice. A whole bunch of these Pedicularis canadensis, being the weird and wonderful hemiparasite that it is. Wonder if it's stressed out enough to be taking nutrients from the neighbors or no, or if it's just photosynthesizing. I don't know. Wonder where that Viola pedata is, because there was a lot of it. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, it's a very nice habitat, you know. And it looks kind of barren right now because this isn't really the prime time for the oak savanna. You know, I mean, it's a good time because the oak savanna is a very nice ecosystem, but you know, it's a prairie, so it does take a substantial amount of time for a lot of the species in it to generate the energy required to get the nice inflorescences and be able to stand out amidst all the tall grass, because this is all going to be like 6 feet tall, you know. It's going to be the andropogon and the schizachyrium and a bunch of other grasses that I can't ID. But it's very, very nice. And there's all kinds of cool stuff, like you'll get the eryngium, you'll get your silphiums in there. Oh, it'll be a banger for sure. Maybe even some orchids, I don't know. But yeah, so the trees through here are mostly oaks, members of the genus Quercus. Love that, the oak savanna. Pretty nice. Let's go find some stuff, yeah? Alright, so here we go. Here's that Viola pedata that I mentioned, the bird's foot violet. This is our third Viola species on the day. Pretty nice, isn't it? Let's get a good look at that. Ooh. It's very, very, yeah. It's very distinct, you know, it stands out. It's also a lot bigger than most of the other violas that I've seen, the flowers on them. You know, they're more sizable. Also, the leaves on these are a bit different than, you know, your typical cordate viola leaves. Look at how heavily dissected that foliage is. Nice. But as you can see, just a gorgeous little flower there. Oh, yeah. Very, very cool to see those. There's another species in the same area. Where is it? I told you though. I told you the Viola pedata was out here, and as promised, there it was. So, you know, I do try to deliver on my word. As for this other Viola species, it's a lot smaller than pedata. Oh, that one's not really that good. You can't really see the flowers too well on it. Here we go. There's a big clump of it. What we got right here, this is pretty sure this is Viola sagittata. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking that it looks a lot like the Viola papionacea that we saw at the start. However, if you take a look at these leaves, though, these leaves are much, much different, you know. Not cordate, very sagittate, as you would be able to guess by the scientific name of this plant, Viola sagittata. So that's pretty cool. Also, I do want to highlight some of the other pretty neat species that you're starting to see in this habitat. For example, I mentioned the eryngium. This is the eryngium. Now, this is a member of the carrot family. And you might not guess that, because if you look at this, you know, it does in fact look like a yucca, which is why this plant gets the species name that it does of yuccafolium. You know, it's got the leaves that look like a yucca, which is really, really cool. But it's a member of the carrot family, you know, and these will get pretty big. These leaves will get up to probably like, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 feet tall, and then they'll put up a nice inflorescence structure. Here you go, here's the stalk on one. And as you can see, it'll be this. This is an extremely compound umbel right here. The morphology in the carrot family that you get a lot is an inflorescence type called an umbel, which is basically you'll just have a bunch of pedicels radiating out from a central point. All of those pedicels will terminate in a flower, and it'll kind of look like an umbrella a little bit. Like if you know what Queen Anne's lace is, Queen Anne's lace, that's another member of the carrot family, Daucus carota. That's also got an umbel. So there you go. But this is just a very compact umbel with very short pedicels. This is also a seed head, so it's kind of a hard, but I'm just going to sprinkle these around because this is a lovely native one. Ah, yeah. Just get a nice look at that foliage. Isn't that neat? God, you wouldn't think that it'd be up here as far north as it is, but, you know, it doesn't look like it belongs, but it does. You know, it's native, it's good. There's also quite an abundance of, oh, this right here, this is some kind of praying mantis egg case on this stick. That's pretty neat. But you've also got through here these little white guys. These were also in the Miller Woods video because we're in a similar sort of habitat. Comandra umbellata, the bastard toadflax in the mistletoe family. The Santalaceae, these guys are almost ready to bloom. They'll pop open these little 5-petal flowers. They look kind of similar to milkweed flowers almost. I'll try to find some of them perhaps. Oh yeah, it's pretty nice out here. Pretty nice. You know, I used to not like the savannah very much because I don't actually know why I didn't like the savannah that much. I think I was just being dumb. I don't know. I was turned off to prairies a little bit. I don't know. I don't even know why I'm telling you guys this. This is all private info. I gotta cut this out. Now, because they're so weird and they call attention to themselves, I've started to notice something kind of interesting, I think, about the Pedicularis canadensis. So I'm in an area where the canopy cover is a bit denser than it was when I was out on the out on more of the savanna-y part. But I've started to notice this variation in the foliage color and just the general plant color of these Pedicularises. Like this one right here, it's very heavily like purple, you know? And I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing also this one right next to it, though, it's got a lot more green in it. You know, but there's a very clear difference here in the color that I know I'm not just going insane and seeing. And what I wonder if that's indicating is, maybe like they're, I don't know, maybe, might be like indicative of maybe parasitic behavior in the plant. I don't know. I've really got no idea. It's just kind of a cool variation that you notice. But, you know, that's why you kind of try and pay close attention to the common features between things. So when you start noticing variations, you know, you can maybe ask, you know, like, what's the deal here? Like, what is actually going on with that? So that's pretty neat. I'm going to have to do some more research into the, maybe the variation of, color in the pedicularis and see if there's some information about its parasitic behavior. You know, I'm thinking my hypothesis would be, you know, is that because it's exhibiting that much less of that green color, it seems like it would have a lot less chlorophyll in it, which I would believe would indicate that it would be relying more heavily on hemiparasitism, you know, taking nutrients from its neighbors. But yeah, I don't know. Pretty interesting though, huh? You might not think so, but, you know, I think it's pretty cool, you know, all this variation and stuff. Oh, yeah, because, you know, that's how new species happen and whatnot. Pretty neat. Oh, yeah. What a cool ecosystem. So I'm a little bit out of breath. Just had to get up a little bit in elevation to ascend to the top of this dune, because there's a really cool group of plants up here that are very near and dear to my heart. This exact plant in particular is one of the reasons why I first got into botany, you know. I was out just, you know, looking for cool flowers and stuff because I was first started, when I was first getting interested, and I was trying to find a nice gentian. But you see, the problem was I got lost. And when I was lost and trying to find my way back, you know, I stumbled onto this dune, and I came across this very plant, you know, this magnificent specimen right here of the species Cirsium pitcheri, and I just had to learn more about it. And when I did, I mean, once I dipped my toe in there, I got dragged in pretty heavy, and now I'm completely ensconced in it, which is wonderful. But anyway, so this is Cirsium pitcheri, very special. It's rated by the IUCN as vulnerable. I would say this plant, it's pretty threatened, you know, actually. It's just not to smash with the IUCN, because of course they're definitely smarter than me and know what they're talking about. But just in this area in particular, you know, they're surrounded by a lot of land development, and you know, I do worry about the continued survival of this plant. But anyway, it's a very cool member of the Asteraceae. What's pretty neat about it is that what's actually especially neat about seeing this guy getting ready to flower is that this plant species is monocarpic. Okay, so what that means is that this plant, it's only going to flower one time, and then it's going to die. Okay, and the reason for that is because, now keep in mind the environment that we're in here. Okay, we're on the side of a dune. It's very nutrient poor because all the soil is sand. Really, the only nutrients that have been put back in the soil are those from the decomposing grasses and the early successional species that have colonized the area, okay? So it's very nutrient poor. So what that means is that this plant, it needs to store up a lot of energy in order to produce the massive inflorescences that it does. You know, as you can see here, these inflorescences, these capitula, they're about an inch across, you know, so these are pretty big. It's a pretty heavy amount of energy. So this plant, what it does for most of its life, I believe it's like the first 5 years or so typically, is it just lays dormant and it photosynthesizes and it stores nutrients into a massive taproot that it's got under the ground. The taproots on these plants can get to be 6 feet long, even though the actual surface level of the plant is only like a foot across, you know. It's absolutely an incredible species, but it'll release all that energy in one go. It'll flower, get pollinated, produce a ton of seed. Then those seed heads will get buried in the sand probably because the wind and the shifting of the dunes and all that. And then boom, you'll have a bunch more Cirsium pitcheri getting ready to do the same thing in future years. So it's just a very cool plant, you know. It's a species that's at risk, you know. So it's very, very special to see. I'm very, very happy that it's getting ready to flower, you know. Hope I'm going to see that actually, hopefully going to see that actually happen. But, you know, there are some other species on this dune that are pretty cool, along with the Cirsium pitcheri. Such as, you know, this fella right here, which you might actually confuse for the Cirsium pitcheri. Because, you know, it's also kind of that same gray-green color, you know. And it's also pretty dissected foliage. This is actually also a member of the Asteraceae. But if you look at this foliage division, you know, you can see how it's like, oh man, what's the word here? I think it's like twice compound. I don't know, but you can see how how the lobing on this guy, which is Artemisia campestris, another member of the Asteraceae. Not really sure how closely related the Artemisia and the Cirsium genuses are. You're gonna have to look into that. But you know, so it looks pretty similar, but you can see that pattern of lobing and also the size, you know, you can tell they're different once you actually see them next to each other. And also, you're probably not going to encounter Cirsium pitcheri at the same frequency that you'll come across the Artemisia campestris, which is very, very prolific through here. But anyway, let's talk about another pretty lovely one. It's up on that dune. What I think we got is, I believe, what we'll be seeing is Lithospermum carolinense. I'm not 100% sure. Gonna have to get a little bit closer before I make that call and possibly key it out. But, oh yeah, let's get into it then, huh? So here it is. This is actually, I was wrong. This isn't Lithospermum carolinense. This is the endemic Lithospermum canescens, which is a very nice, it's very interesting to see two pretty neat plants occurring right next to each other. Got a load of that. Oh yeah, this plant's a member of the Virginianaceae, the borage family. So you know it's pretty pubescent. That's a characteristic of the Virginianaceae. You can distinguish the Lithospermum canescens from the Lithospermum carolinense because the Lithospermum canescens, it's often the flowers are fairly smaller compared to the carolinense, and the pubescence on the Lithospermum canescens, it's pretty soft, you know. I'm feeling this and it's very fuzzy. It's nice. I'd love to wrap myself up in a nice blanket of it, maybe. I don't know. You know? This is actually a pretty cool plant because it's actually got some really neat compounds in it. Whoops, messed with the brightness there. They're called chiconin derivatives, I think. Read a paper about them. But anyway, what's really neat about them is that they've got a lot of pretty cool medicinal applications. Now, when I say that, I want you to take 1 second and I want you to listen to what I say following that up. If you come out to habitat and you destroy this plant because I say that it has medicinal purposes, you do not value ecology, you do not value this plant's life, and you do not value the medicinal properties. Because when I say that it has medicinal properties, I mean it has medicinal properties when it's being synthesized by pharmacologists that actually have a background in chemistry and know what they're doing. Not some jackass in their garage that's ripping up a nice rare endemic plant and making a poultice out of it. Okay? So, appreciate that this plant does have chemicals in it that do have medicinal values, okay? Because like the, you know, the guy that inspired me to make this channel, like he says, crime pays but botany doesn't. You know, plants, they're basically just chemical factories, okay? But don't come and rip this out, you know? But, you know, the medicinal properties that it does have, they're antibacterial and possibly anti-cancer, anti-tumor, I believe. You know, so that's very, very neat. So appreciate, yes, definitely appreciate that the plant does have medicinal value, but do not, you know, just come rip it out because of that. Because obviously, when you got something in habitat that's endemic like this, you know, it's having enough trouble as it is with development, and so you just gotta be nice and delicate with it, yeah? Whole bunch of the Arabidopsis lyrata through here too, that nice white one. Saw that at Miller Woods. Bunch of Artemisia campestris and all kinds of members of the Fabaceae. Pretty nice. Oh yeah. Gorgeous. Got the endemic and the vulnerable. Pretty cool. Pretty wonderful. Here we go. So I mentioned that myanthemum at the start of the video. Said I thought it was stellata. Now I've got a flower here so I can say for sure. Yes, it is. We got myanthemum stellata occurring through here, which is pretty nice. Surrounded by a native member of the rose family, as we can tell by looking at the winged petiole down here at the base of the leaf. If the camera would focus on it. One sec. There we go. You can see there's no fringe on that petiole. No. So there you go. That's a native rose then. So that's cool. Bet that'll be pretty when the time comes to flower there. Oh yeah, the oak savanna and the dunes. It's a really cool network of ecosystems. Oh yeah, a lot of good stuff happening. Oh yeah, like this one for example. This is Aquilegia canadensis, the wild columbine. Remember the Ranunculaceae here, getting ready to bloom pretty soon. So that's pretty nice. You've also got this. This is in the Asteraceae. This is a member of the genus Nablus, the rattlesnake roots. Maybe Nablus alba. Not 100% sure. Going to be very, very cool when it does flower. There's another pretty cool aster out here. You know, there's a lot of them. I'm gonna say, oh yeah, there's cool asters out here. You're gonna start noting that there's cool asters everywhere, and that's because there's just asters in general everywhere. You know, very, very successful lineage of plants. But the other cool aster out here, it's in the genus Arnoglossum, and they're absolutely stunning when those things bloom. I believe it's I think the species that I saw out here was Arnoglossum triplicifolium. I don't know, but look that up. Yeah, it's got some real gorgeous flowers on it when it goes off. It's very, very, and it's got this weird rubbery foliage. Oh, it's so neat. Oh, it's so nice. Oh yeah. Anyway. But yeah, let's see what else we can find, huh? Okay, now I'm going to say a couple things really quick, and they're going to sound very contradictory. First and foremost, this right here, these are the leaves that belong to that Arnoglossum, that really cool member of the Asteraceae that I was talking about. These leaves are, they're just so leathery, and they're so nice. Oh, yeah. But, you know, if you're not familiar with a plant, you shouldn't be using just the leaf shape to ID it. You know, the best things to get in terms of IDing plants is always, you know, your reproductive structures, your flowers, but, you know, then you can fall back on leaves when you got those or other things like that. But never try to ID something solely based on the leaves if you're not familiar with it, okay? And then the other, so there's this really cool Arnoglossum species right here. Again, not 100% sure. There's also these Tradescantias occurring through here, which are getting pretty big. I believe this is Tradescantia virginica. Member of the Comandra, very cool, cool bunch of monocots. There's quite a few of them through here. Look pretty weird, but you know it's pretty. Yeah, it'll be very nice when I see it when those things start blooming. I bet, as will the Arnoglossum. But yeah, just some awesome diversity in the Asteraceae throughout here, as well as our little Viola trip. I managed to hijack it and turn it into one. Focusing on some pretty cool asters that we get in this area, and just some, oh wow, hang on. Oh, this is really neat. This is a Oh man, again, not very good at my ferns. This is a species of Botrychium. I think it's in like the Ophioglossaceae, like the adder's tongue ferns. I know it's called rattlesnake fern is the common name. There's a lot of it occurring through here. A very cool fern. Actually, you know what? That reminds me, there's another pretty cool species of fern that'll show you in through here that I can actually identify for you the species. But so this is a nice Botrychium. Keep in mind, this is a seedless vascular plant, so it's not going to have any seeds. It's going to have spores, and I believe that this right here, the one that the leaflet that my finger's resting on, I believe that this is the fertile frond. You know, some ferns, they produce sterile fronds, which are these green ones right here that, you know, I'm touching, and those just do photosynthesis and generate food. And then there are the fertile fronds, which actually have the sori on them, and they release the spores and stuff to produce new ferns. So very, very interesting there. Let's go check on that other fern. Yeah, that nice Asplenium. All right, time to go do that. Here we go. Here's that other fern. This right here, this is Asplenium platyneuron, okay? And now it looks kind of similar to that Christmas fern, that Polysticum acrostichoides, except this is, of course, much, much smaller than that species. And also, if you take a look at the rachis on this one, you'll see that it's got a black rachis, which is not the case in Polysticum, you know? But so it's a very nice little fern. Let's see if I can find some of the guys with the sori on them. If I flip them around, maybe. Come on. Someone's got to be feeling frisky enough to be producing spores at a time like this. Oh, there's a nice big clump of it. Let's check it out. You know, it's pretty tough to be on this. It's not the best terrain, you know. But here we go. Okay, so there we go. We can see a couple of them. It's brownish structures in the middle of the leaves. Those are the sori. Those contain the spores, which, as I mentioned, those will ultimately, you know, produce the next generation of, oh, there we go. Here's a good one. There we go. Look at all those sori. Oh, yeah. Pretty lewd. But there you go, Asplenium platyneuron, a very nice little fern. I believe it's in the family Aspleniaceae, though, again, not very good with my ferns. So, yeah, not too sure. But I think, pretty sure that is going to be it for me today, folks. So, hope you enjoyed the nice trek through the oak savanna and our times with the violas. You know, we got 4 species, which is, in my opinion, more than enough. You know? Oh, really, the violas are pretty cute. You know, you gotta love them. They're nice. Absolutely. Wouldn't be the same without them. You know? Yeah. Okay. But anyway, you guys all have a good one. Stay safe, social distance, and all that. And, yeah. All right.